basically post in accounting equation. So how this makes the journal entry. So find a three-step process. Find out which two accounts are going to hit. Number one, cash and land. Right, guys? Fabian, Florian, Lota, Kathleen, Anise, Woseong.
Right now it's clear. It's because the question is easy. Right now it's clear. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, that's why we are going slowly to the difficult part, right? So two accounts, cash and land, right? Second step would be now find out debit and credit. So remember, cash is decreasing, right? Land is increasing. Now tell me, cash belong to assets, asset is decreasing, which means debit or credit? Anyone? Anis? Kathleen?
Isn't it both debit and credit? Because it's plus the 40,000 and minus 40,000?
I'm talking about this right now. If cash belongs to assets, asset decrease, land belongs to asset, asset increase. And how we make the entry? First of all, debit and then credit. So you write it down, land to cash. Understand? Right? And if you post it, so we have a cash account earlier from transaction 1, it was debited and now it is credited. So you write down 40,000 on the credit side and land would be on the right, on the left hand side of the debit. You see here, right? Everyone, make sure you understand that how we created this entry and how we post this entry here. So where this 50,000 is coming from our first transaction, right? Okay, let's talk about the next one. Third, purchased supplies for 3,700. So I'm not going to be focusing this question on accounting equation because this question we already did, in our previous lecture. So we are just focusing on journal entry and ledger entry. So just this part is just for your information. That's it. So now tell me which two accounts is going to hit. Purchased supplies for 3,700 on account. On account means on credit. So which two accounts? Kathleen, Florian, Fabian, Lota, Wuxiong. Purchase supply on account.
Credit, because if they order, they will pay me. So I will be credited.
Yes, we purchase the raw material and we will pay the cash later. So supplies, two accounts, supplies and what is the account for creditors?
A receivable account to credit and a payable to debit.
Payable. Account receivable is for our customers, for our suppliers, accounts payable, right? So first of all, you need to write it down. The three-step process is which two accounts? supplies and accounts payable. Number 2, direction, supplies increase, accounts payable also increase. Third one, supplies belongs to asset, asset increase, debit. Accounts payable, it belongs to liabilities, liabilities increase, credit. And we write it down, journal entry, debit to credit. So which is debited? Supplies. Which is credited? Account payable. So entry would be supplies to account receivable. And how we are going to post it? We make a ledger or we make an account for T account for supplies. We don't have previously, so we just make a new one. We don't have the previous accounts payable, so we just make a new one. Here we write it down accounts payable. Here we write it down supplies, right? So we post it. So B means debit, C means credit here. So just a column name, don't just put it about here. Here it is debit, here this is credit. All of you guys understand, or should I repeat? Be very honest. Kathleen? Lota?
Understand.
Lota, are you here?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, Fabian?
Yes.
Wuxiong?
Yes.
Anis? Anis, are you here? Okay, Florian. Here we go. Let's move next. Now, Kathleen, you will solve for us. Make a journal entry. Don't worry about the accounting equation. We already discussed that, so I'm going to cancel this one. So the fourth is performed services for client and received cash of 7,000. Now you tell me how we are going to record it. The three-step process. So which two accounts are going to hit?
Is it cash 7,000 and then
Cash. Well done.
and it's debit?
The other account. Go stepwise. First step is which two accounts? Okay, cash account.
Services?
They received cash from a client, right? Yes,
Okay, yes.
services as well.
Yes.
Services as well, but they received cash from a client. Client or customer is called account receivable,
Accounts receivable. Okay.
right? Or sorry, they perform, you are right, services or revenue. Sorry, I didn't, we should focus here. Perform services. This is account receivable, this is revenue, and this is cash. These are the accounts, right? So which two accounts are hit? So this is just for information. Why? Because the question didn't mention that we receive money from client. The question mentioned that we perform services, right? So revenue, so cash increase, revenue increase, right?
Yes.
How about debit credit? So cash increase mean debit or credit?
Debit?
Well done. And how about the revenue? Revenue increase?
Credit.
And how you pronounce the entry?
Cash 7,000 debit and then revenue 7,000 credit.
How you pronounce it? You just pronounce how you write it down. So you pronounce like cash to revenue. That's it. I understand. Okay. So be
So can you just say the last one? The last one you say if cash increase is debited,
Mm-hmm.
and if revenue increase is credited, account receivable revenue increase, and cash debit, no cash increase.
Is not here disturb, okay? Because question didn't mention that a client, pay us back. In that case, the account receivable is going to hit. But we should focus that we perform services and receive cash. So these are the two accounts. So I'm just giving you the complexity here, the analytical, see the difficulty here. So there will be many accounts, but you need to pick the right accounts. Okay, which at least two accounts are going to hit. So you perform services and receive cash. That's it. If this, I think the next slide is going to be like that. So a customer paid, then it's going to be. So how you pronounce this entry? How you say this entry? Cash to revenue. That's it. Cash to revenue. And if I ask how you write it down the entry, you say that like cash debited, service revenue credited. But if I say how you pronounce the entry, the answer should be cash to service revenue, right? So we know that in our previous cash account we have cash transaction on first, second, and now the third is going to be, and now the fourth is cash is debited, so cash should be written under 50,000 here, right? And we don't have any service account here, revenue account, so we create a new one. And since service is, or revenue basically is credited, so we write it down on the credit side. So this is just reference number. Okay, because of this transaction, our ledger is basically hit by the fourth transaction. So our cash is hit the 7,000. Where we want to find out the counter, or proof of the transaction, go to the fourth transaction is, okay, this 7,000 is coming from fourth transaction. Everybody understand that? Now let's talk about this again. Now here, what we talked about over there. Now performed services for a customer on account. This is a little bit tricky. Now find out two accounts. Performed services. We just talked about that. This is revenue. Customer is account receivable, right? Do we have received cash or not? Performed services from a customer, for a customer on account.
Yeah. Credited.
So which two accounts are going to hit?